For someone that is not a lawyer, I have read a lot of federal paperwork, and I have never in my life seen the words freak off in a federal indictment. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a person in long-term recovery who has in fact been to prison. Ta-da! It's not a flex, it's just a fact. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, that's $2. It's only ever going to be $2. All of that is linked down below, as well as my vlog channel, my Facebook, all the other platforms that I have. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's just kick this thing off. When I am filming this video, it is September 17th, 2024 at 10 a.m. So this came down about an hour ago is when it popped up on my phone anyway. This 14-page indictment is absolutely gross, but I read all of it, so you don't have to, and I'm going to break that down for you. I am going to be showing every single page, 1 through 14, because that's how you have to do it, okay? Don't be skipping pages when you're reading federal paperwork. Every page is important. And the first paragraph of this indictment, I'm probably going to say this a million times. This is the craziest shit. Some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, especially from somebody that is this famous and this wealthy. Page 1, the grand jury charges. They've been working with the grand jury for months now to bring down these charges for decades. I'm already done. I'm just kidding. For decades, Sean Combs, the defendant, abused, threatened, coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. That is paragraph 1, folks. What the fuck did he burn down? This dude is seriously disturbed. It just gets worse from here. So, paragraph 2. Sean Combs, aka DIDDLER, the defendant, operated his business headquarters at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global. Corporate entities in the Combs business include, among other things, record labels, recording studio, an apparel line, alcoholic spirit business, marketing agency, and a television network and media company. Say you got fucking money without saying you have fucking money. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in a persistent and persuasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of a pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others, who is the and others, bro? Acting at his discretion, made arrangements for women and commercial workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut them off. He would also use intimidation and violence. Paragraph 4. Physical abuse by Sean Combs was reoccurrent and widely known. On numerous occasions, from at least in or about 2009, continuing for years after, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects, and kicking them. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance in Los Angeles in a hotel in March of 2016, which was captured on a video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave, which we now know that is Cassie from the lawsuit that she filed against him that he immediately settled the second papers were printed. The ink didn't even dry. DIDDY immediately settled. When a member of hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. Sean Combs used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries, can't say that word, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. all of the people that were involved in this need to be held accountable as well. So paragraph 6, from 2008, the defendant and others known and unknown were members of associates of a criminal organization, the Combs Enterprise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. That is a laundry list of charges. Page 4 just talks about, the business and how he was able to do these things. Using all of his things, the apparel line, the media stuff, his business, bad boy, all that stuff. That's how he was able to facilitate all of this crazy shit. Page 5 goes over the same kind of stuff. What he would do to keep people from talking about everything. Page 6, Combs and other members and associates of the Combs Enterprise wielded the power of prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual acts with male commercial workers that Combs referred to, among other things, as freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial workers across state lines and internationally. Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days, and often involved commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to the victims. In part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in sex acts with commercial sex workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, they facilitated the freak-offs, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel room in advance with all the supplies that they needed, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, lighting, cleaning, and hotel rooms. So all these people, I feel like, should be held accountable. They would clean the hotel room after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging the travel for victims, commercial sex workers, resupplying, Page 7, paragraph C. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. He manipulated and controlled his victims through, and among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening, withholding financial support, and other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victims' appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects, dragged the victims, which we all saw him do to Cassie. He also would not let them leave after these incidents, because if they left and paparazzi caught people like leaving, his home or these hotel rooms that they knew that he was in, covered in bruises and looking fucked up and all that stuff, then people would obviously notice. In case I haven't been like abundantly clear here, he is facing decades. Like, this man is not going to get out if he's found guilty. But we're going to get into what I think about what's going to happen to him in the end. Spoiler alert, if the feds arrest you on an indictment, you're fucked. You're going to prison. So just, Anyway, page 9, the racketeering conspiracy. Racketeering. May the odds be ever in your favor. The defendant and others known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs Enterprise. I hate saying that over and over again, but it's like, dude, who are the others? That shit makes me so mad. They kind of just lay out the penal codes here of, they tell you what racketeering is. Paragraph A, multiple acts involving kidnapping, chargeable under the following provisions of state law, California Penal Code. It kind of just goes over everything. Aiding and abetting, California Penal Code, conspiracy, multiple acts involving arson, and that's the penal code for that. Multiple acts of bribery, multiple offenses involving possession with intent to distribute, which is like, oh my God. The list of shit that he was distributing is crazy, dude. I don't know if I can even say that anymore on YouTube. So I'll just type out on the screen all of these things if you guys can't see already. It's a lot. That's a lot of shit. Page 11, count 2, is the sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. It says victim 1. It would be my guess that they're not going to put the names in here, but we could probably speculate because of the dates. But it says from at least 2009 up into 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendant knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard for the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion. Substitute asset provision. If any of the described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of the defense cannot be located upon excursion. Okay, so he gave up his passport. Hey, just popping in here because I didn't explain what the last couple of pages meant. I kind of just skipped to he had to surrender his passport. But the last couple of pages will hurt a rich person more than prison time sometimes. And it is the forfeiture statutes. It means that if he has, earned a bunch of money, he's gained all these assets because of illegal activities, which it sounds like he has, right? Then he will have to forfeit those. It says, as a result of committing the offense alleged in count 1, count 2, count 3 of the indictment, and it lists each one, the defendant shall forfeit to the United States pursuant to Title 18, United States Code Section 2428, any and all property, real and personal, derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of said offenses, and any and all property, real or personal, that was used or intended to be used, committed, or facilitate the commission of said offense. Meaning that he just has to give up anything that he got because of all of this illegal activity, whether that's drug trafficking, sex trafficking, whatever it is. If he has gained anything financially, and they are obviously going to prove that because they're going to follow the money every time, then he's going to have to surrender those assets. It could be a house, it could be a fucking yacht, whatever he has. It could be his rights to shit. It all comes down to money. And when you follow the money, you see how much money was coming in because of all of his businesses that they're outlining as a criminal enterprise. It also means that the properties that he has that he was committing all these offenses in can also be seized. That means he's potentially losing every fucking thing. I know I skipped a lot of things, but I feel like reading federal paperwork is kind of boring to everyone except me and like lawyers. But yeah, he gave up his passport. He is in custody, and it is my guess, my best guess here, that he is going to cooperate because what the fuck else is he supposed to do? If he ever wants to see the light of day again, he's going to cooperate with them, and he's going to give up anyone that he possibly can. That would be my best guess. I do think that it is absolutely disgusting that no one else is in custody. To my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong, but persons known and unknown, the feds know. The feds know. They have been investigating him for a long time, and they have a ton of evidence. Obviously, because they don't arrest you without evidence. They don't raid your house without evidence. Like they know what's up. So why is no one else being held accountable? Also, not even just with charges. How come no one else was speaking out about this? Like how could this have been going on this long? You know what I'm saying? Like all of the shit that he's done, all the people he's hurt, allegedly, maybe unalived. It's been going on his entire career. And the only person that said anything about it was Tupac. If you're down with Bad Boy, then fuck you too. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. My prediction is that he's going to cooperate, like I said. And if I had to guess amount of time that he's going to serve, I don't know. This is so hard. The feds go off of a point system. Okay. Everyone faces the same chart. It's a sentencing chart. It is what it is. But if you cooperate, you lose points, which means your level goes down, your score goes down, and you get time off. And man, oh man. It's 10 a.m. on September 17th, like I said earlier. So like right now, he is going to go to court, and he's probably going to plead not guilty. He did surrender his passport, so he's going to try to get bail. He's going to try to get out. I don't think that that's going to happen. That's just my opinion. Like Like, he has private jets, he has a ton of resources. It doesn't matter if he surrenders his passport or not. He's going to try to flee. That's what I think. I'm sure a judge is going to think the same thing because he has been, you know, kind of MIA or whatever. But maybe not. Maybe because he, you know, his lawyer is talking to them and it looks like he's cooperating because he went in and he handed in his passport. Maybe he will be able to get out on like electronic monitoring or something. But we'll just have to see. I'm going to try to get this video up as fast as I can and maybe have a live stream tonight just so that we can talk about it. But I'm sure there's going to be more news this afternoon involving this, and I'll keep you guys updated the best that I can. I'm going to end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober, whatever that means to you. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see y'all in my next one.